Zlata's Diary, A Child's Life in Wartime Sarajevo. This story takes place in Sarajevo, Bosnia, in the early 1990s during the Bosnian War. Zlata, a 10-year-old Sarajevo native, started writing her diary a few months before the war began. She talks about how she gets all A's in school, her friends, family, and music lessons. Her family enjoys spending time in Zanaria, where they sled, ski, and gather with friends for holidays. Life is good for Zlata and her mother and father. Then her family sees the war is starting in a neighboring town. They watch it on television and worry about the people they know there. Zlata prays for peace daily in her diary. Then she starts hearing gunfire from the hills near her house. Her family runs into the cellar for protection from snipers, shells, and shrapnel. Zlata writes about friends and family moving away, getting sick, or even killed. During the war, the school is shut down, and Zlata barely gets to go outside. Their house is often without gas, water, or electricity. Food is often in short supply. However, overall, Zlata has a positive tone to her diary. She is thankful for what her family has. Zlata and her mother had an opportunity to get out of Sarajevo, but their paperwork didn't come through. They tried to leave with a Jewish convoy later, but that didn't end up happening either. Zlata is bored constantly and tired of seeing her city and country where she grew up destroyed. She wants to leave so badly, and there are a few times where Zlata wants to kill herself to end this hell. I posted a link at the bottom of the page where you can go and learn a little bit more about the Bosnian War. This book has been compared to The Diary of Anne Frank, but I have noticed a few differences as well as some similarities. First of all, Zlata names her diary Mimi, and Anne Frank named her diary Kitty. Zlata said she needed to name her diary since Anne Frank did. I read somewhere that Zlata currently lives in Ireland, so I know that she survives, whereas Anne Frank unfortunately did not. Zlata also found out that her diary would be published while she was living in Sarajevo. Journalists and cameramen came from all over the world to interview her. She even does a book promotion in Sarajevo. Anne Frank's diary wasn't published until after the war, and she was not aware that it was going to be a book. I haven't read The Diary of Anne Frank since middle school, but I remember that it was really hard for me to finish because I thought it was boring. I mean, it is an amazing piece of literature because of her circumstances, but I also think that this made it boring for me. She was trapped in hiding and therefore had limited things to write about. I think students would be more engaged in Zlata's diary for a few reasons. It is more recent, and they can relate to her more so than Anne, and Zlata can move around and interact with other people. Zlata and her family finally get out of Sarajevo in December 1993. A personal carrier came to get them. They were flown to Paris, where they indulged in food they had only dreamed of for the past 2 years. They got special treatment because Mimi was going to be published. Zlata spoke about her experience in the war on talk shows and to newspapers and magazines all over the world. She was happy to finally be out of that hell, but was also sad she had to leave behind her loved ones and her home country. She went to high school in Paris and was so hungry for learning she got caught up quickly. Her family then moved to Dublin, and Zlata attended college at Oxford. She visits Sarajevo every year to see her family and friends that are still there. I enjoyed this book so much. I would really like all of you to read it. I have even included a link to a website where you can purchase the book. It is a vivid account of an awful time in Zlata's childhood. It really makes me thankful for where I live. I hope when kids read it, they realize the same thing.